There is a secret fire inside you, a spark that has been burning since the very moment your existence began. It is not a symbol, not a myth, not an abstract idea. It is real. Ancient mystics described it as the hidden sun within the human being, the origin of vitality, clarity, and the invisible strength that moves your body and sustains your spirit. This flame does not depend on chance. It does not fade with age, and it does not belong to the world outside. It belongs to you, waiting silently, ready to be awakened. The most extraordinary truth is that this hidden fire can transform your entire perception of life once you turn your attention toward it. Throughout history, civilizations whispered about this same mystery. They gave it different names, painted it with different symbols, but they all pointed to the same reality. The human being carries within a sacred center, a point where life itself flows like an ocean of energy. This center is not in the heavens, not in distant temples, but within your own body, close enough to touch, yet invisible to the distracted mind. The sages said that whoever learns to awaken this point does not only strengthen the body, but also dissolves the weight of old memories, opens hidden doors of consciousness, and rediscovers a forgotten purpose. Imagine carrying in your core the key to a greater life, more vibrant, more luminous, more connected. Imagine realizing that the energy that animates stars also pulses quietly within you, waiting to ignite your spirit. Once you understand this, ordinary moments no longer feel ordinary. Breathing, walking, even silence itself become filled with meaning. That is the promise of this mystery, the possibility of living not as a passive spectator of existence, but as someone who remembers their origin and steps into their true power. In this journey, you will be guided through the wisdom of the ancients, the voice of the mystics, and the reflections of Helena Blavatsky, one of the most profound seekers of the hidden truth. Together, we will explore the depth of this secret center, discover why it was revered across ages, and uncover how you can awaken it in your own life. This is not just knowledge, it is a call to experience, a path back to the silent flame that has always been inside you. Stay with me, because what you are about to discover is not only a teaching, it is a revelation that can change the way you live, forever. There are moments in life when you suddenly feel that something deeper is calling you, a whisper behind the noise of everyday thoughts, a sensation you cannot fully explain, but that you cannot ignore either. That feeling is not an accident. It is not imagination. It is the echo of something real that has been with you since the very beginning of your existence. It is the hidden flame within you, a flame that ancient mystics and philosophers tried to describe in many ways, yet never fully captured with words. They said it was the secret fire of life, the silent engine of consciousness, the point where the human being touches the eternal. And here lies the most astonishing part. That flame is burning inside you right now, whether you are aware of it or not. Think of it as the invisible pulse that has kept you alive through every breath, every emotion, every memory. You may call it energy, spirit, or soul, but what matters is that it exists, and without it, nothing of who you are could remain. Helena Blavatsky, the great explorer of hidden truths, said that the human being carries within a spark of the universal fire, a fragment of the eternal flame that fuels the entire cosmos. If this is true, then what does it mean for you? Could it be that your life, your struggles, and your dreams are connected to a source far greater than you have ever imagined? For centuries, different cultures tried to explain this mystery. In China, they called it qi, the vital current that animates everything. In India, they named it prana, the breath of life that sustains both body and spirit. In ancient traditions of the West, it was the pneuma, the divine breath. Blavatsky suggested that all these traditions were fragments of a universal doctrine, a single truth hidden beneath the veil of different languages and symbols. What is extraordinary is that all of them pointed to the same secret, that inside you there is a center, a root, a flame that is both human and divine. But if it is so important, why do most people go through their entire lives without ever noticing it? Perhaps because modern life pulls our attention outward, toward screens, obligations, and distractions that never end. We are trained to look everywhere except within ourselves. And yet deep down, You can sense that something is missing, a gap that no achievement, no possession, and no relationship can fully fill. That emptiness is not a flaw, it is a signal, an invitation to turn inward and discover the secret fire waiting to be remembered. You may feel resistance because the mind fears what it does not understand. But imagine the possibility that within your own body there is a sacred key, and that once you touch it, nothing will ever look the same again. Picture an ancient tree with roots buried deep underground. Its branches stretch toward the sky, its leaves offer shade, its trunk stands strong against the storms. But none of that would exist without the root hidden beneath the soil. You are that tree, and your strength, your clarity, your resilience all depend on a hidden root. A root that is not physical but energetic. Helena Blavatsky wrote that the human being is a bridge between the material and the spiritual worlds, and the secret root is what makes that bridge possible. The question is, are you ready to look for it? Are you ready to face the silence within and touch the point where your existence truly begins? Many people feel afraid of looking inward. They fear what they might discover, the emotions they have buried, the memories they have tried to forget. But the hidden fire does not only illuminate, it also heals. It burns away what is heavy, dissolves what is stagnant, and clears the path for new life to emerge. This is why sages and mystics insisted on the journey to the center, not as an escape from reality, but as the only way to live it fully. To ignore this fire is to live half asleep, moving through life as if it were a shadow of what it could truly be. But to awaken it is to step into a new way of being, more alive, more aware, more free. You may wonder, if this secret is so important, why has it been hidden for so long? Blavatsky believed that it was never truly hidden, only forgotten. Humanity, she said, suffers from a kind of spiritual amnesia. We are born with the fire burning inside us, but as we grow, we cover it with layers of distraction, fear, and illusion. The fire remains, but we stop feeling it. It takes courage to peel away those layers, to remove the masks we wear, and to return to the essence of what we are. That is why this journey is not for the faint of heart, but for those who are willing to remember what they truly carry within. Consider this: if every culture, every tradition, every mystic pointed to the same inner flame, could it be that they were all trying to reveal the same universal truth? And if so, what does that mean for you, right now, in this very moment? It means that you are not separated from the mystery of existence. You are not a small, powerless being adrift in an indifferent universe. You are part of the same fire that shines in the stars, the same breath that animates all life, the same current that flows through the hidden architecture of the cosmos. This is not philosophy alone, it is experience, and the moment you decide to turn inward, you begin to feel it for yourself. But beware, once you sense this fire, there is no going back. Life will no longer feel the same. The ordinary will reveal its extraordinary depth, and even the simplest act, like breathing or walking, will become filled with a quiet intensity. This is both a gift and a responsibility, because once you remember the fire within, you cannot continue living as if you were asleep. You must choose, ignore it, and return to the shadows, or embrace it and step into the light of your true being. Which path would you take? This is the beginning of a journey, one that countless seekers before you have walked. Helena Blavatsky devoted her life to uncovering and teaching the existence of this inner flame. Her words echo across time, reminding us that the secret is not outside, not in temples, not in distant mountains, but within ourselves. To hear that call is to be given a choice. Remain blind to the treasure you already carry, or dare to awaken and claim it. The decision is yours. But as we continue, you will see that this hidden fire is not only a source of vitality, it is a portal to dimensions of your being you never thought possible. So stay with me, because what comes next will take you even deeper into the mystery. You are about to discover where this fire rests in your body, why sages revered it for centuries, and how it can change not only the way you feel, but the way you exist. The question is not whether this flame is real. It has always been real. The true question is, are you ready to awaken it now? For centuries, people have wondered why certain moments in life feel so charged, so alive, while others seem empty and draining. You may have noticed it yourself. Sometimes a simple walk in nature fills you with strength, while a day of endless noise leaves you exhausted, even if you did almost nothing. This difference is not random. It is the reflection of how your hidden center of energy is being nourished or ignored. Helena Blavatsky and the mystics of every culture said that the secret lies in what they called the ocean of energy, the sacred reservoir inside you that connects your body, your emotions, and your spirit with the great rhythm of the universe. In China, this center was known as the REN-6, the Sea of Energy. In Japan, the Hara. In India, the prana flowing through the Manipura chakra. All of them pointed to the same truth. Life is sustained not only by food and air, but by a subtle current that flows like a river inside you. And here is the surprising part. This current can expand or diminish depending on how you live, think, and feel. When you are connected, you feel strong, clear, and unshakable. When you are disconnected, you feel tired, confused, and distant from yourself. Think of a lamp connected to electricity. When the current flows freely, the light shines bright. But when the connection is weak, the lamp flickers and dims. You are the lamp, and the hidden center within you is the place where that current concentrates. Have you ever had a day when, for no apparent reason, everything seemed lighter? Your thoughts were clear, your body felt lighter, and even your problems seemed easier to face. That is what it feels like when your inner current is strong. And perhaps you also know the opposite. Days when every step feels heavy, when your mind is clouded, and even simple tasks become difficult. That is what it feels like when your inner current is blocked. Blavatsky wrote that human beings forget this secret because they identify too much with the surface of life. We think we are only what we do, what we own, or what others say about us. But beneath all of that, there is a deeper identity, a being of energy, a spark of the same fire that sustains the stars. And when you connect to this truth, your life begins to change. You no longer depend only on external circumstances to feel alive. You discover a source inside you that does not run out, no matter what happens around you. Imagine for a moment that you are standing near the ocean. The waves rise and fall, sometimes calm, sometimes violent. That is like your daily emotions, always changing, sometimes lifting you up, sometimes pulling you down. But deep beneath the surface, the ocean is vast, silent, and powerful. That depth is your inner sea of energy. If you learn to connect with it, you are no longer a prisoner of the surface waves. You begin to live from a place of strength and calm, even when the world around you is turbulent. You can even see this reflected in daily life. Think of people who walk into a room and immediately change the atmosphere, even without speaking. Their presence carries weight. Their energy fills the space. Why? Because their inner current is alive. And then think of those who walk in and seem almost invisible, drained as if life has taken away their shine. The difference is not luck or personality, it is energy. And this same choice is before you every day. Will you live connected to your inner ocean, or will you remain trapped on the surface? The truth is that energy responds to attention. When you ignore your center, it weakens. When you give it presence, it awakens. Even a few minutes of breathing with awareness placed on your lower abdomen can begin to change how you feel. It is like remembering a forgotten truth, like lighting a lamp that has been waiting in the dark. And with each small practice, the connection grows stronger until you start to feel it not only in meditation, but in every action of your life. Walking, working, speaking, all of it can flow with more strength when you live from your center. Here lies a question that may disturb you but also inspire you. How many moments of your life have you lived disconnected from this source? How many decisions have you made guided only by fear, confusion, or external pressure, instead of from your deep center of energy? And more important, what could change if from today you chose to reconnect with that inner ocean? The answer is not only more energy, it is more clarity, more freedom, more meaning. Blavatsky believed that to ignore this truth is to live like a shadow of oneself. To awaken, it is to rediscover your true identity as a being of energy and spirit. That is why she called this center not only a source of life, but also a portal to higher states of consciousness. To feel it is to remember that you are not a random accident in the universe. but a chosen participant in the eternal flow of creation. And now, I want you to do something simple, but powerful. If you truly feel the call to awaken your energy, write this sentence in the comments right now. I raise my energy. This is more than words. It is an act of intention, a declaration to yourself and to the universe that you are ready to connect with your hidden fire. Each letter you type will reinforce this choice. Each word will begin to open that inner channel. Do it, because by writing it, you are already starting the process. And remember, only the chosen will go further. Look at the red button somewhere in the corner of your screen. Only the chosen will click it. And when you do, you are not only subscribing to this channel, you are affirming your decision to awaken, to be blessed, and to never again live as if your inner fire did not exist. The path is open. The next step is yours. Your body is more than flesh, more than bone, more than the sum of organs and cells. It is a temple, and like every temple, it has a hidden sanctuary where the sacred flame is kept alive. Ancient traditions hinted at this truth in symbols and metaphors, but the experience itself is far greater than any description. Imagine for a moment that deep inside you, in a place that cannot be seen with the eyes, there is a sun radiating light, a reservoir of energy silently feeding every breath, every heartbeat, every thought. This is not fantasy. It is the reality that mystics and seekers from every culture tried to reveal. Helena Blavatsky said that within the human being, there exists a spark of the universal fire, the same force that moves galaxies and ignites stars. That spark is not distant or abstract. It is in your center, and it is what keeps you alive. The difference between those who walk half asleep through life and those who radiate strength and clarity lies in the degree to which they recognize and cultivate this inner flame. When you ignore it, you are like a temple abandoned, walls still standing, but the altar dark. When you awaken it, you transform into a living sanctuary, glowing with presence, filling not only yourself but the space around you with light. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to carry an invisible power? They speak and their words echo deeper. They enter a room and the atmosphere changes. It is not luck. It is not charisma in the superficial sense. It is the light of their inner sun, the temple flame burning bright. This is what the ancients tried to teach, that your center is not only a physical point in your body, but the very seat of your vital force. And the more you return to it, the more alive you become. But here is where it becomes even more mysterious. This inner sanctuary is not only a source of energy, it is also a mirror. When you touch it with awareness, it does not just give you strength, it shows you who you truly are. And sometimes what it reveals can surprise you. What happens when the flame illuminates not only your potential, but also your shadows, the parts of you that you tried to hide or forget? Pause for a moment and consider this. Could it be that the reason so many fear silence and stillness is because, deep down, they sense that in silence the flame will reveal truths they are not ready to face? The fire heals, but before it heals, it shows. It shows the pain you carry, the memories you buried, the doubts you tried to silence. Yet this is not punishment. This is the path to freedom. Because how can you release what you never dared to look at? Stories from seekers around the world confirm this. A monk in Japan described how, after years of meditation focused on the hara, he suddenly felt an overwhelming surge of emotion, memories from childhood rising like waves. At first he feared he was losing control, but then he realized it was the flame cleansing what had been hidden. In India, yogis spoke of the Manipura chakra releasing blocks of fear and anger, turning them into clarity. And in the West, mystics described a sacred fire that consumed impurities so the soul could shine. Different languages, same experience. The flame does not destroy you, it purifies you. Think of how this might appear in your own life. Perhaps you carry tension in your body that never seems to go away, or a heaviness in your emotions that you cannot explain. What if that weight is simply unexpressed energy, waiting to be dissolved by the fire within? What if the secret to healing is not outside? No book, no pill, no escape, but already living inside your temple, waiting for your attention. And now, let us ask something even deeper. What if this inner sun is not only about personal healing, but about connection to the greater whole? Blavatsky suggested that each human flame is a reflection of the universal fire, and that to awaken, it is to remember our unity with all existence. Could it be that when you breathe into your center, you are not only feeding yourself, but also reconnecting with the living web of life, with the pulse of the cosmos itself? If this is true, then every breath is sacred. Every time you close your eyes and touch that point in your lower abdomen, you are not practicing a small exercise. You are participating in the eternal rhythm of creation. The temple within you becomes a mirror of the temple of the universe. And perhaps this is why mystics across time felt such awe in their practices, because in touching the flame, they realized they were not separate from the divine. But how do we live with this awareness day to day? It is one thing to feel inspired for a few moments, and another to carry that fire into the routines, the challenges, the ordinary chaos of life. Here lies the true test. Because the temple flame does not ask for escape from life, it asks for presence in life. To walk with awareness of the inner sun is to make every act, speaking, working, even listening, a sacred ritual. What would change if you treated your daily life as the ground where your temple stands? Reflect on this. Could it be that the very problems you face are invitations to return to your center? That the stress, the conflicts, the doubts are not enemies, but reminders that you have forgotten to breathe into your flame? If so, then every obstacle is secretly a doorway. Every difficulty is a call to awaken your inner sanctuary once again. And here is something that may surprise you. The flame inside you does not only expand upward into light, it also has roots. It grounds you, anchors you, gives you stability. Without it, you drift like a leaf in the wind, carried by circumstances. With it, you become like a tree rooted deep, unshaken even by the strongest storms. This is why practices that focus on the lower center bring both strength and serenity. They awaken not only energy but also grounding, the quiet confidence that you belong to the earth as much as to the stars. Ask yourself now, how would your life be different if you walked each day knowing that you are a living temple, carrying a sun within? Would your choices be the same? Would your words carry the same weight? Would your fears still hold you captive? Or would you begin to live from a place of unshakable power, radiating light not only for yourself, but for others? This is not a distant dream. It begins the moment you choose to remember. The flame is already there, waiting. It does not matter what you have done, what mistakes you carry, or how lost you may feel. The flame has never left you. It cannot be destroyed, only forgotten. And the instant you turn your awareness to it, you begin to feel its warmth again. So let this be your reminder. Your life is not random. Your existence is not empty. Your body is not just a shell. You are a temple. Inside you burns a sun. And as you breathe into it, as you awaken it, you are stepping into the truth of who you are. Stay with me, because what lies ahead will not only deepen this mystery but reveal dimensions of the flame that go beyond energy and into the very fabric of the eternal. What waits in the next part is not only more knowledge, but a glimpse of the infinite itself. There are places inside you where silence has been accumulating for years, hidden corners of your being where unresolved memories and emotions remain buried. This is why many spiritual traditions describe the inner center not only as a source of energy, but as a guardian of memory. The flame you carry does not only illuminate the path forward, it also lights up what you have been avoiding. When you turn your attention to this center, you may feel warmth, but you may also feel unease, as if something long hidden is rising to the surface. Helena Blavatsky believed that the human being is a living archive, carrying within not only the experiences of one life, but also the impressions of countless lives before. In this way, your inner fire becomes both a mirror and a key. It shows what is inside you, and it offers the power to release it. A story told by a Taoist teacher illustrates this well. A student practicing deep breathing into his lower abdomen began to experience sudden bursts of sadness and anger. At first, he thought he was failing, but the teacher explained that what was happening was the natural cleansing of the inner sea. Energy does not only nourish, it also carries away what no longer serves. In that release, the student began to feel lighter, more open, as if years of hidden weight had been removed. These stories repeat themselves across traditions. In India, yogis spoke of burning karma in the Manipura chakra, while in Japan, Zen masters taught that focusing on the hara could dissolve the ego's illusions. Different languages, same discovery. The flame clears shadows before it can fully shine. Consider for a moment how much unspoken weight people carry today. The World Health Organization estimates that over 264 million people globally suffer from depression, and stress-related illnesses account for more than 70% of doctor visits worldwide. These numbers are not only statistics, they are evidence of lives lived disconnected from the inner sanctuary. People look for relief in distractions, substances, or endless activity, but the root cause remains untouched. What if instead of running outward, the answer was already within, waiting for attention? What if those statistics could change if more people learned to breathe into their center and awaken their hidden flame? But here lies the paradox. The very act of awakening the flame may at first feel uncomfortable, even overwhelming. Why? Because when the fire burns brighter, it reveals what you did not want to see. It may bring up fears, regrets, and emotions you thought were gone. Yet this is not a sign of failure. It is the beginning of true transformation. The inner fire does not harm, it purifies. It does not create shadows, it exposes them so they can dissolve. This is why seekers across centuries spoke of dark nights of the soul before moments of awakening. It is as if the temple flame must clear the altar before the light can fully shine. Now imagine this process not as something distant, but as something happening in your life right now. Have you ever felt an emotion surface out of nowhere? Perhaps triggered by a memory, a word, or even a smell? That is your inner fire stirring, trying to bring into light what was hidden. If you ignore it, it returns again and again. If you face it, breathe through it. Allow it to burn away, you free yourself from years of weight. In this way, the flame becomes a healer, turning pain into clarity, confusion into wisdom, and fear into strength. And yet, there is another layer to this mystery. The flame not only heals the past, it also transforms the present. Studies in neuroscience have shown that focusing attention on the breath in the lower abdomen activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing stress and creating calm. In Japan, corporate workers who practice hara breathing report lower levels of anxiety and increased productivity. These are not mystical claims alone. They are measurable results of connecting with the center of energy. Ancient wisdom and modern science meet here. When you live from your center, your body, mind, and spirit align in a way that makes you stronger, calmer, and more resilient. Think of people who thrive under pressure, who face crises with calm clarity while others collapse. What is their secret? It is not luck. It is not even training alone. It is the ability to return to their center, to the inner sanctuary, where the flame steadies the mind and empowers the body. Imagine if you could cultivate that same ability in your daily life. How different would your days look if stress no longer drained you, but became a signal to reconnect with your flame? There is a remarkable fact that often surprises people. Research has shown that deep, slow breathing focused in the lower abdomen can change heart rhythms, blood pressure, and even brain waves. In other words, when you turn to your center, you are not just imagining a change, you are creating measurable transformations in your physiology. This means the flame is not only symbolic, it is a living force that affects every part of you. What could be more powerful than knowing you carry this tool within you at all times? But this journey does not end with healing or balance alone. The flame, once awakened, becomes a guide. It begins to influence your choices, your relationships, your purpose. It whispers when you are out of alignment, and it strengthens you when you walk in harmony with it. Suddenly, life is no longer random. It becomes meaningful, connected, guided. And perhaps this is the greatest gift of all, the realization that you are not a passive spectator, but an active participant in the unfolding mystery of existence. Imagine waking each day with the awareness that your life has a center, a sanctuary you can return to in every moment. Imagine speaking, walking, and even facing challenges from that place of strength. This is not theory, it is practice. Every moment you choose to remember your flame, you step closer to your true self. Every moment you forget, life reminds you with confusion, fatigue, or stress. The invitation is constant. Return to the fire within. Stories from around the world confirm this universal truth. An artist in Brazil reported that when she practiced abdominal breathing daily, her creativity returned after years of block. A soldier in the United States shared that focusing on his lower center helped him overcome panic attacks after returning from war. A teacher in India said that teaching children to connect with their breath improved their focus and reduced conflict in the classroom. Different lives, different contexts, but one hidden thread. The inner flame, when honored, changes everything. And here we must ask, if this flame is so powerful, why do we not learn about it from childhood? Why is it not part of every education system, every workplace, every community? The answer may lie in what Blavatsky called the great forgetting. Humanity has drifted so far outward toward material success, endless consumption, and constant distraction that the inner world has become a mystery. But what is forgotten can always be remembered. And perhaps the fact that you are listening now is a sign that this remembrance is beginning for you. So, let us bring this closer to your own life. Think of a moment when you felt truly alive, as if every part of you was awake. Where were you? What were you doing? That moment was a glimpse of the flame, a reminder of what is always possible. Now imagine living not only in glimpses but in continuity, carrying that vitality into every day. This is what it means to live from the center. It does not mean life becomes free of problems, but it does mean that you meet those problems with a power that comes from within. At this point, you may already feel the curiosity rising. How do I keep this flame alive? How do I integrate it into daily life so it does not fade? The answer lies in practice, in small and consistent steps that bring you back to your center again and again. Just as a fire needs tending, your inner flame grows with attention. Every time you breathe into your center, every time you honor your energy with awareness, you are feeding it. And with time, it becomes natural, effortless, like a heartbeat you can always trust. This is where the journey turns into a way of living. The flame is not only for moments of meditation, it is for the kitchen, the office, the street, the moments of joy and the moments of challenge. It is for when you are alone and when you are surrounded by others. It is the constant reminder that you are more than circumstances, more than thoughts, more than fears. You are the temple, and the flame is always burning inside you. And now, as we prepare to go deeper, remember this: the flame is not only energy, not only memory, not only healing. It is also the compass that points toward your highest self. To live without it is to wander in circles. To live with it is to walk with clarity. The choice, as always, is yours. But one thing is certain: once you begin to awaken the flame, life will never again feel the same. Stay with me, because the next revelation will show you how this inner fire is not only your own, but part of a universal current that binds us all. Every journey that begins in mystery must end in revelation. And now we arrive at the final step of this path. You have walked with me through the hidden fire, the inner sanctuary, and the living temple within you. We have explored how this flame heals, guides, and transforms, and how it reflects the same eternal fire that ignites the stars. But knowledge alone is not enough. If you stop here, it becomes only another beautiful idea. What truly matters is how you will carry this flame into your daily life, how you will let it shape the way you live, love, and choose every single day. The truth is that the flame inside you is both a gift and a responsibility. It is not enough to admire it. You must tend it, nurture it, and allow it to guide your actions. This requires a plan, a conscious decision to honor your center in practical ways. Otherwise, the fire risks fading into the background once more, hidden beneath the noise of distractions and demands. So let us create together a simple but powerful path that can keep your flame alive. The first step is presence. Every morning before you let the world pull you into obligations, take 1 minute to place your hand on your lower abdomen and breathe. Feel the rise and fall, the subtle warmth, the silent pulse. This act is not trivial. It is a declaration. It is you telling yourself, I remember, I return, I awaken. Even 60 seconds can set the tone for your entire day. And if you forget, begin again. Presence is not perfection, it is practice. The second step is cleansing. Just as the flame burns away shadows, you must allow yourself to release what no longer serves you. When you feel anger, sadness, or fear, do not push it away. Sit with it for a moment. Breathe into your center and exhale as if you are handing it over to the fire. Imagine it dissolving in the warmth of your inner sun. This is how the flame becomes your ally, not only in strength, but in healing. The third step is alignment. As you move through your day, remember that your choices either feed your flame or weaken it. The food you eat, the conversations you keep, the thoughts you allow to repeat, all of them influence the fire. Ask yourself before acting, does this nourish my flame or does it diminish it? This one question asked consistently can transform your habits and give you back control of your energy. The fourth step is expansion. Do not limit the flame to moments of silence. Bring it into your movement, your speech, your work. When you walk, imagine each step rising from your center. When you speak, feel your words coming not only from your mind, but from the energy rooted in your core. When you face challenges, return to the flame before reacting. This is how ordinary life becomes extraordinary, because you are no longer moving from the surface. You are moving from the source. The fifth step is connection. Your flame is not separate from the universe. Each time you stand under the sky, walk barefoot on the earth, or breathe in the open air, remember that your inner fire is part of the same rhythm that moves winds and tides. This remembrance is powerful. It breaks the illusion of isolation and restores the truth. You are not alone, you are connected. And when you feel connected, the flame grows brighter. And finally, the sixth step is gratitude. At the end of each day, before closing your eyes, take a moment to thank the flame. Thank it for sustaining you, for healing you, for guiding you. Gratitude is not only a feeling, it is fuel. The more you honor the flame, the more it responds, the more it becomes a faithful companion in your life. This plan is not complicated. It does not demand hours of your time. It asks only for sincerity, for attention, for consistency. The secret of transformation is not found in dramatic gestures, but in small acts repeated with devotion. Over time, these small acts weave themselves into the fabric of your being until the flame is no longer something you practice. It is something you live. So I ask you now, what would your life look like if you chose to apply these steps? Not just today, but every day. How much lighter would you feel if you released what weighs you down? How much stronger would you be if every choice was aligned with your flame? How much brighter would your presence become if you lived as a temple carrying the sun inside? These are not distant dreams. They are possibilities within your reach, waiting only for your decision. Remember, the flame has always been with you. You were born with it. You will leave this world with it, and it will remain beyond time. To awaken it is to awaken yourself. To honor it is to honor the universe. And to live with it is to live as you were meant to, fully, freely, and consciously. If this message has touched something inside you, I invite you to act now. Do not let this moment pass like a shadow. Choose to begin today and share your journey with us. Write your questions, your reflections, or even your experiences in the comments below. You can share openly or anonymously, but do not keep it inside. Expressing it will strengthen your connection to the flame. And finally, if you feel called to continue this path, click the red button to subscribe, like this video, and join this circle of seekers. Each action you take here is not only support for this channel, it is a step in your own awakening, a way of saying, I choose to live with my flame alive. Stay with us, because the journey is only beginning, and together, we will keep the fire burning bright.